The scorching Spanish sun hung low over the ancient hills of Andalusia, painting the landscape in shades of gold and amber. Tourists wandered through famous monuments, cameras clicking, guides repeating stories told thousands of times before. Yet hidden beyond the crowded paths and celebrated landmarks lay a mystery that history had almost erased. For centuries, whispers circulated among villagers living near a remote valley outside Granada. Old men sitting beneath olive trees spoke of a magnificent palace that once rivaled the splendor of kings. They called it the Lost Islamic Wonder, a place so beautiful that poets compared it to paradise itself. Most historians dismissed the stories as legends. But legends often begin with a grain of truth. One autumn morning, a young historian named Daniel Reyes arrived in the valley carrying little more than a notebook, a camera, and an obsession with forgotten history. Unlike many scholars, Daniel believed that the greatest discoveries were still waiting beneath layers of dust and silence. The villagers welcomed him politely but laughed when he asked about the lost palace. "You won't find anything," one elderly farmer said. "Many have searched. All returned empty-handed." Daniel smiled. That only made the mystery more interesting. As days turned into weeks, Daniel explored abandoned pathways, studied ancient maps, and interviewed local families whose ancestors had lived there for generations. One evening, an elderly woman named Sophia invited him into her small stone house. "I have something you should see," she whispered. From an old wooden chest, she carefully removed a fragile manuscript wrapped in cloth. The pages were yellow with age. Arabic calligraphy covered every inch. Daniel's heart raced. The manuscript described a palace built during the golden age of Islamic Spain, a time when science, architecture, astronomy, and art flourished across Andalusia. According to the text, the palace was called Alhambra, the Palace of the Moon. It was said to contain magnificent gardens, marble fountains, hidden libraries, and walls covered in intricate geometric designs. Poets traveled from distant lands simply to witness its beauty. Kings sent ambassadors to admire its wonders. Then, suddenly, it vanished from history. No records explained its disappearance. No maps showed its location. It was as if the palace had simply dissolved into the earth. Daniel spent the entire night translating the manuscript. Near dawn, he discovered something extraordinary. A coded passage. At first glance, it appeared to be poetry. But hidden within the verses were geographic clues. Coordinates. Directions. Landmarks. The poem was actually a map. The next morning, Daniel followed the clues into the hills. The journey was difficult. Sharp rocks tore at his boots. Thick vegetation blocked ancient trails. Hours passed. Then he found it. A weathered stone arch protruding from the ground. Most people would have ignored it. Daniel knew better. Carefully brushing away dirt and roots, he revealed carved Arabic inscriptions. His pulse quickened. This wasn't natural. It was man-made. And it was ancient. Excavation permits were secured within weeks. A team of archaeologists arrived. The digging began. Day after day, workers removed layers of soil. Slowly, remarkable structures emerged. Stone columns. Decorated walls. Marble flooring. Every discovery confirmed Daniel's growing suspicion. The legends had been true all along. News spread rapidly. Media outlets arrived from across Spain. Historians who once mocked the story suddenly became interested. International experts flew in to witness the excavation. Yet the greatest surprise was still hidden underground. One afternoon, a worker's shovel struck something hollow. The team immediately stopped. Carefully removing debris, they uncovered a sealed doorway. The entrance led deep beneath the ruins. No one knew what awaited inside. The following morning, cameras were prepared. Safety equipment was checked. Daniel volunteered to enter first. Holding a flashlight, he stepped through the ancient doorway. Dust swirled through the darkness. The air smelled untouched. For 1,000 years, no human had entered this chamber. His light swept across the walls. What he saw left him speechless. Intricate carvings covered every surface. Golden patterns still shimmered beneath centuries of dust. Arabic inscriptions flowed like rivers across the stone. It was breathtaking. But then Daniel noticed something even more astonishing. A second passage. And beyond it, another chamber. Larger. Far grander. His flashlight revealed rows of shelves carved directly into the walls. A library. An ancient library. Many shelves stood empty. Others still contained fragile manuscripts. The room had survived. History itself had survived. Daniel realized he was standing inside one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the century. The Lost Islamic Wonder was real. And its secrets were only beginning to emerge. As cameras recorded every detail, Daniel looked around in amazement. Who built this place? Why was it abandoned? What other secrets remained hidden? The answers lay somewhere deeper within the palace. And what the team would discover next would challenge everything historians thought they knew about medieval Spain. Before we continue this incredible journey, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, we uncover forgotten mysteries, lost civilizations, hidden treasures, and astonishing historical secrets that most people have never heard about. If stories like this fascinate you, subscribe now so you never miss the next adventure. The greatest mystery of Alhambra was still waiting in the darkness. And Chapter 2 would reveal a secret buried for nearly 1,000 years. The discovery of Alhambra shocked the world. Within days, newspapers across Europe carried headlines about the lost Islamic palace hidden beneath the Spanish hills. Television crews arrived. Experts gathered. Scholars debated. Yet the deeper archaeologists explored, the stranger the story became. Daniel Reyes stood inside the underground library, carefully examining a collection of surviving manuscripts. Many were damaged. Others were remarkably preserved. Every page offered a glimpse into a forgotten world. Astronomy. Medicine. Engineering. Mathematics. Philosophy. The palace had clearly been more than a royal residence. It had been a center of learning. A sanctuary of knowledge. One manuscript immediately captured Daniel's attention. Unlike the others, it was sealed inside an ornate wooden box decorated with silver patterns. The box itself appeared important. Almost sacred. With extreme care, conservators opened it. Inside rested a beautifully preserved document. Its title translated roughly as The Final Chronicle of Alhambra. Silence filled the room. Everyone understood the significance. This could explain why the palace vanished. Translation began immediately. Days passed. Then weeks. As scholars worked through the text, a remarkable story emerged. The palace had been built during one of the most prosperous periods of Islamic Spain. Scientists, artists, architects, and scholars gathered there from across the known world. Knowledge flowed freely. Ideas flourished. Innovation thrived. The palace became famous not only for its beauty but also for its wisdom. Yet success attracted enemies. Political instability began spreading across the region. Powerful factions competed for control. Wars erupted. Alliances collapsed. Leaders changed. The world around Alhambra grew increasingly dangerous. The palace's guardians feared destruction. But rather than abandon their priceless collection of knowledge, they devised an extraordinary plan. They would hide everything. Libraries. Records. Scientific discoveries. Historical documents. Even the palace itself. Workers secretly constructed underground chambers. Valuable manuscripts were relocated. Entrances were concealed. Maps were destroyed. References were removed from official records. The goal was simple. Preserve knowledge until a safer future arrived. Then came the final entry. The last words written by the palace's chief scholar. Daniel read them aloud. If these words are found, then our mission has succeeded. We do not hide this palace out of fear. We hide it out of hope. One day future generations may uncover what we have protected and continue the pursuit of knowledge. The room fell silent. For nearly 1,000 years, their plan had worked. The palace remained hidden. Its treasures survived. Its knowledge endured. Daniel felt chills. The scholars of Alhambra had sacrificed fame and recognition to protect learning itself. Their achievement was extraordinary. But the surprises were not over. Further exploration uncovered advanced water systems centuries ahead of their time. Engineers found evidence of sophisticated irrigation networks. Astronomers identified star charts containing remarkably accurate observations. Mathematicians examined manuscripts revealing concepts rarely associated with medieval Europe. Every discovery challenged old assumptions. The palace was transforming historians' understanding of the era. Months later, restoration projects began. Visitors would eventually be allowed to explore portions of the site. Educational programs were created. Researchers from around the world collaborated on preservation efforts. The Lost Wonder was becoming a symbol of cultural heritage and shared history. When the official unveiling ceremony finally arrived, thousands gathered. Government officials attended. Historians celebrated. Journalists reported every moment. Standing before the restored entrance, Daniel reflected on the journey. A forgotten manuscript. A hidden clue. A buried doorway. A lost palace. What began as a legend had become one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of modern times. As the gates opened, sunlight poured into spaces that had remained dark for centuries. The moment felt almost magical. It was as though the past itself had awakened. Visitors walked through magnificent halls. They admired the artistry. They studied the inscriptions. They learned about the scholars who had once lived and worked there. Most importantly, they understood a powerful lesson. Civilizations may rise and fall. Buildings may disappear. Empires may fade. But knowledge can survive. Ideas can endure. And history always leaves clues for those willing to search. Today, the story of Alhambra continues to inspire explorers, historians, and dreamers around the world. It reminds us that some of humanity's greatest treasures are not gold or jewels. They are wisdom, curiosity, and the determination to preserve knowledge for future generations. Somewhere beneath the earth, hidden beneath forgotten ruins and silent landscapes, countless other mysteries may still be waiting. And perhaps the next great discovery is closer than anyone imagines. If you enjoyed this story and want more incredible mysteries, lost civilizations, ancient secrets, and hidden historical wonders from around the world, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with fellow history lovers. Your support helps bring these fascinating stories to life and ensures you never miss the next adventure into the unknown. Because history isn't finished telling its story. We're only beginning to uncover it.